The Hollywood trades are declaring that Disney settled in Florida and everything's A-OK. But what if we told you that big decision by Bob Iger to push division in the Sunshine State over the Don't Say Gay bill? Well, it turns out that may have cost Disney $1 trillion. And without a doubt, a huge failure for the mousy messiah. Hello, folks. Welcome back to the channel that is trying every single day to bring you tomorrow's headlines, the news delivered hot on a platter of chatter and truth every single time. As we dive in, click that like button. And if you're not yet subscribed, just know we're working hard to earn it from you. Hollywood is trying to save the legacy of Bob Iger with some reimagining, but it has nothing to do with Bob Iger. Actually, they don't care about him. He's done. He's out. He's over. He's old, right? What it really has to do with is they got to move the goalpost when it comes to politics. So Hollywood wants you to believe that Disney did not lose in Florida, even though we covered it, even though we told you what was going to happen, and it happened just the way we said it would. Variety has the rehistorification. That's not a word. Don't play it in Scrabble. They've got the reimagining of it. Variety says some key moments from Bob Iger's second run as Disney CEO. Let's go through these, please. Reinstated a more creative-driven management structure. Well, how's that going at the box office? Skip the next one. We'll come back to it. Delivered a 19% adjusted EPS compound annual growth rate over the past 3 years. Yeah, the stock dropped over the past 5 years by about 50%, while the S&P 500 went up 70%. If Disney had went up the same amount as the S&P 500, it'd be over $300 per share, but it's under 100. And then finally scored 5 $1 billion plus box office hits in the past 2 years. Inside Out 2, Deadpool and Wolverine, Moana 2, Zootopia 2, and Avatar Fire and Ash. We will not bring up right now, ladies and gentlemen, that probably Disney has been losing money at the box office at least one of those 2 years because the crazy flops they've had at the same time. The one we want to talk about is right here. Settled a high-profile dispute with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis over Walt Disney World's governing district. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you may not know this, but this man right here kind of got them into said conflict in Florida, chided and corrected and guided the temporary CEO, who was supposed to be the man to replace him, into going head to toe with Florida, and did not go well for Disney. And then Bob Iger, when he came in, he didn't settle the high-profile dispute. He lost. He lost in Florida dramatically because they were trying to tell Florida that Florida had to put divisive content into kids' preschool classes, kindergarten classes, and Florida said, go pound sand. When Bob Iger came in, they caved because it was never about that at all. It was always about, how do we make Bob Chapek fall? How can we have a conflict? So they manufactured the conflict. And when Bob Iger came in, what happened? Folks, this settlement they're talking about was the dissolution of the entire Walt Disney World township, city ship, whatever you want to call this. It was such a strange ship because
special governing district, yeah.
Right, special governance over their own theme parks. Disney had 2 cities that they ran out of mobile home parks that they gave to people so that they could call them cities with populations of like 12 people. Disney had been given this crazy thing. And when Bob Iger came into power, after using that as the leverage to kick out Bob Chapek, remember that Andrew of Legal Mindset has estimated this was a $1 trillion mistake. All you got to do is run it for a century, and you got to think Disney World's going to be there for 100 years. All you got to do is say, they lost self-governance of Disney World for 100 years. It was a $1 trillion sacrifice. So Bob Iger could get 5 more years at Disney and try to save his legacy because Chapek won, the stock went up, and Bob Iger couldn't have that. Chapek came in and said, we're going to get away from divisive politics. Iger couldn't have that. They sacrificed $1 trillion in the taxes they'll pay to Florida over a century. And when you consider inflation, it's not crazy. This is not an insane number. $1 trillion. And what does Hollywood say about this, folks? Hollywood says, well, they settled. He did a good job. He settled it.
He didn't settle. The dust settled after the bomb went off. Like, to say that he negotiated anything like this with DeSantis, no. DeSantis ran them into the ground and then took a victory lap. They lost. This was a major loss for them. I cannot name one singular way that you could possibly say that Disney came out okay in this situation.
Hey, Marv, did they change the law in Florida?
They did not change the law.
Oh, okay. Did Disney lose its self-governance of Disney World?
It did.
Was that a sweetheart deal that no other company in the world enjoyed?
Yeah, no, it was we get nothing that we want, you get everything that we want, we lose, and yet I settled a high profile dispute with you for it. There were only 2 self-governing districts in the state of Florida. There was Reedy Creek Improvement District, which was Walt Disney World, and then there's the Villages, which is the 65 and up retirement community.
Right. But Disney had the power. They were given crazy powers. They could build a nuclear power plant. They could build an airport. Disney had no oversight. They were like a little fiefdom, a little actual kingdom, not a magic kingdom, but a legal kingdom. And they sacrificed it. I don't know of any company outside of maybe BP with the oil spill. Like it's hard to wrap your mind around $1 trillion mistake.
Every single one of those bullet points that Variety is reporting is done so disingenuously.
Walk us through
for every single one of them. More creative-driven management structure. What does that mean, and what does that produce? That's disingenuous.
It means rainbows and bubblegum. Rainbows and bubblegum.
Yes. The second one, settled a high-profile dispute. We just covered that. That is completely disingenuous. Delivered a 19% adjusted EPS. Could have been more. Right. Could have been significantly more. That's again disingenuous, missing the rest of the story. Scored 5 $1 billion plus box office hits. Okay, what about the mountain of losses? You could report these massive hits, but what about the ones that have truly underperformed to the tune of hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars? Every one of those points is disingenuous because it's missing the other half or the other 3/4 of the story. There's so much more here they refuse to report on.
And Wiz, it's political in my opinion. Iger is out. They don't have to save him anymore, but they have to save the politics of it. They cannot let it seem like Ron DeSantis and Red State Florida overcame Disney legal. They can't allow that narrative to exist.
But they did.
And it's going to continue. It's going to continue until we reach a point where if of course, if the stock price continues to decline and we see with a turnover where they use Josh D'Amaro as a fall guy, right? Then he'll be a fall guy, and then they'll prop up Dana Walden, and then Dana Walden will get all of this disingenuous respect, or perhaps Josh D'Amaro's still in, and we continue to get this disingenuous respect. It's completely disingenuous because they're all part of the entertainment Hollywood system. They have to keep patting each other on the back. They got to say everything is great when all it takes is a couple of Google clicks on a keyboard to figure out it's not so great. You know, it's the same argument from people that give us trouble when we say that something we think objectively is bad or think something is objectively good. It's the same people that are like, well, you just hate on everything. It's like, well, no, there's a bigger story here. When we actually look into what things are, there are bad things in play that we are going to point out. And we would be lying to not only ourselves, but to our audiences if we were to report bad things being good.
And if
that's what Variety is.
And if the stock is down 50%, fake whiz, and it basically is, more bad things happen than good things for that to go that way. It has to be that way. There's no way you drop 50% and the majority of your stories be, yay, Disney's great, we love you, magic, ha ha, Pixie does whoopee. There's no way that can be true. Those realities don't align.
Variety is trying to mislead you. Like that, they're trying to mislead you, right, with that tweet. It's very concerning is what it is.
It is. Folks, we'll follow it. Just know the narrative matters and why they're saying what they say. Pay attention to it because very seldomly does it align with the reality you actually live in. Pulling Hollyweird to the sensible center, the mainstream middle where money is made is not easy, but folks, you make it easy to make videos each and every day because sharing time with you is a great honor and we never take it lightly. An attitude of gratitude every single time we have the chance to shine with you. Until the next time, we only ask that you click that like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And folks, don't worry about paying any kind of tuition for this free class and how entertainment works. You are on scholarship. Highest IQ on the internet. That's you for sure. Until the next time we have the opportunity to spend time together, folks, we just ask that you keep learning, keep growing, and as ever, keep having fun. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the video. Remember, this Wednesday is the Disney Shareholders Meeting. Coverage live on the Pro Channel begins at 10 a.m. this Wednesday. Also, friends, if you'd like to join us for MegaCon, we'll have a booth set up for you to join. Info on the screen. Come see Marvin, Lorne, and maybe one more at MegaCon, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Friday. We'll see you. Thanks for being here. You're the Gigawatts.